What is good, everybody? Who is you? It has been a while since I've made a video. It's been cold, it's been winter, and it's been sucking. But hey, we're finally starting to get into spring now, which is very cool, because that means I get to ride my bike, and I get to make content. So that's pretty awesome. Today, what I want to do is finally make that whole video talking about how the throttle is on the ZX10 and kind of the different, throttle map modes and whatnot, the rider modes. So that's what we're going to be doing. One of my viewers ever so graciously informed me that you can, in fact, change the rider mode while you're riding. I tried it when I got the bike a couple times and it didn't work for me, so I just assumed that you couldn't do it, but no, it turns out you actually can. I must have just been, just been putting a little bit of throttle in, and it didn't let me change the map because of that. But yes, you can in fact do that, so thank you, viewer, who told me that I was incredibly wrong when I said that you can't do it. Anyway, yeah, let's just kind of get right into it. Gonna bump this Jimmy John on down to rain mode. There we go. Oh, what up, Corvette? And I think what I'm gonna do for these, because the big thing with the power modes, or the rider modes, whatever, is it adjusts the power output of the bike. I believe rain mode is something like 70%, road is 80%, and then sport is 100%. Put up a graphic on the screen right now for you. Been a while since I've read the owner's manual. But yeah, so that's one of the big things.
So, broccoli after the fact here. Just going back through and doing some fact checking with the post editing, grabbing the screenshots and whatnot. And yeah, turns out the road mode and the sport mode use the same power mode. I thought road mode used the medium power mode. Turns out it doesn't. So they're both on full power mode. The only difference between them is the traction control setting. So that'll lead to some very interesting results later on in the video. Keep watching.
It also adjusts automatically your traction control settings. So rain mode will obviously have the highest traction control setting, and then road and sport will have traction control settings lower than that. That just affects how much wheel slip you can get before it starts kicking in, and that also adjusts the wheelie control. So how much your front wheel is allowed to come off the ground before the bike starts to pull back on power. So yeah, just need to find a little bit of a stretch here. So what I'm thinking is gonna drop down to, I don't know, we'll say 50 miles an hour, and then just let her eat through, we'll do top of second gear. We'll have a little bit of fun. And yeah, I'll do that for each of the ride modes. So yeah, and then kind of see how that all is, and kind of give my thoughts on how it feels, because when I got this bike, I rode it around exclusively in rain mode, because this was my first super sport bike, first leader bike, and 200 horsepower is a little intimidating. So I just wanted to get used to it a little first, and not have to worry quite as much about precise throttle control. So I was just riding it in rain mode, honestly, when I first got it for the first maybe 3 months or so. Long enough for the break-in period, and then a little after that to get comfortable with letting her eat in rain mode. And it is a pretty huge difference, I'm not even gonna lie. It's pretty gnarly how big of a jump it is, because I think I calculated it out, and the power output that this should roughly have, according to Kawasaki, in rain mode is roughly about the same horsepower as a 600cc bike with the weight of a 1000. So it's definitely a huge jump up trying to do that. Hey, what up? gang. So yeah, I think another test that I'm going to do too is maybe put it in, we'll say 4th gear, going roughly the speed limit, 70 miles an hour, we'll say, and then let her eat in each of the ride modes, and I guess calculate, no, there we go, 60 to 100. I'll drop down to 60 in 4th gear, let her eat, and we'll put a little timestamp on the video how long it takes to get from 60 to 100. And actually, while I'm doing that, allow me to put my throttle back into view, however I do that. Okay, I finally figured out how to get the throttle view back up. Alright. So there's 100, and so that's rain mode. I mean, it's still fast, I guess, but it's not anything crazy. It's very manageable in rain mode to do something like that. You're not gonna throw yourself off the bike or anything. It's still very manageable. That was a 1st gear pull, fully pinned. So part of that does have to do with the way Kawasaki did the fuel mapping for the throttle. So it doesn't have quite as much power down low as it should when you full throttle it. It doesn't actually start making full power until you get higher up into the RPM range, not just because of normal torque curves, but because quite literally you are putting in 100%, but the bike is electronically lowering it to maybe like 40% until you get up to whatever RPM and you follow the RPM curve for the throttle mapping. It doesn't matter what you're putting in, you can put in 100 all you want, the bike isn't going to let you do it. So that's probably also attributing to how kind of neutered, I guess, rain mode feels. But yeah, let's bump this Jimmy John up into road mode. Oh, gotta close the throttle off. There we go. Now, I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've ever ridden the bike in road mode. I think I went straight from rain to sport, and that was that. I don't think I've ever actually used road mode, so this will be kind of interesting. Just gonna do a little time cut here to whenever I can. Actually, it looks like this lane is empty behind me, so drop it down to 50 and pull. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a lot more intense, the pull. I probably couldn't see too well on video. I know that it doesn't really come out very much, but the front wheel came off the ground there. So, road mode is, it's not too bad actually. I mean, hell, this might even become my new go-to. No. And then there's sport mode, and that's where I always live. Like I said, I got the bike, and for the first couple of months I rode it in rain mode, and then once I got kind of comfortable and familiar with how the bike handles and feels and everything and the controls on it, I just bumped it up into sport mode and left it there. And I'm very excited and also terrified to get this thing tuned to unleash the maximum potential that it has. But yeah, I'm gonna take it a little easy going through here because 12 is everywhere, and this is one of the areas where they have all those stupid license plate reading cameras that, oh, it's not for surveillance, it's just for looking for criminals. Yeah, sure, buddy. It's definitely for surveillance. You're not gonna fool us. But anyway, let's let's bump this Jimmy John up into sport mode. Yeah, there we go. Of these cars behind me. Okay. First gear. Way faster in sport mode. Front wheel came up a lot more aggressively there. And it does feel more responsive, each one, because obviously how they're controlling the power output there is how much throttle you're allowed to put in. So, I mean, I don't know this for absolute fact, but I mean, just logically speaking here. It just makes sense that even though, yeah, as it sits already, the throttle is neutered, you can see once I started getting higher up into the RPM, though, that's where it really made the huge difference between the rider modes. It crawled a lot faster, or it, went up a lot faster in sport mode and in road mode than it did in rain mode. Rain mode was very, very tame. So, yeah, let's get back down now to rain mode, and let's do a 60 to 100. Oh right, that was a good fourth gear. My bad, everybody. Okay, so 60. Not bad. Not bad, but let's bump you up into road mode now. And let's hit it 60. Come on. Just 60. There we go. Stupid Audi, get in my way. All right, we're gonna run that back. Oh, now you want to speed up, man? Better get that left lane ambition. Okay, 60. That almost felt the same. I'm going to be curious to see what this looks like in post, actually pulling the numbers for this. That did feel very much the same. Okay, whatever. Let's do it in sport now. Okay, so there's 60-ish. This bike is playing with me. I think it is the throttle mapping, because that still kind of felt the same, honestly. A fourth gear pull 60 to 100 felt very, very similar in all three ride modes, which, you know, the first gear pull, I saw it, dude. The first gear pull from 50 to top second gear felt way different, especially kind of past that 8,000 RPM mark. 8,000 RPM is when it really started to open up. So just because why not? You know, we're men of science here. Let's bump this back down to rain mode. Okay. but this time instead of fourth gear, we're gonna do second gear. Okay, so 60. Not quite 100. I'm also a little sketched out. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like there's a comment out there. Alright, time skip. Alright, and we're back. So, alright, 60. So we got that. Now let's bump it up to road mode. Okay. Now do another. Oh wait, nope, we're good. All right, second, 60. Okay. Sport. I don't like having all this shark behind me doing this. And oh, you gotta be kidding me! Oh well, still got it. So. Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh, what a troop! So yeah, I'm gonna grab those times and everything in the video, post editing and whatnot. I'll put them all up right here. Nice little table for you to look at. But yeah, that's pretty much all I really was gonna do today. Side note, I guess a little late in the video to be mentioning this. But if my audio sounds a little worse or a lot worse than usual, my backpack broke, the one that I normally have and have my secondary microphone in from Nyan Gear. Yeah, it broke. The zipper said I'm a head out, so I'm having to just use a basic JanSport backpack right now that my microphone's in. I don't know how good it does at blocking out the wind. I feel like this backpack is more like cloth than the Nyan Gear one, so I feel like the wind can probably get into it. But we'll see. We'll see when I get done editing. Anyway, yeah. Finally, spring is here, kind of, and I can start making videos again. So that's pretty cool. So anyway, that's about all, everybody. Goodbye.